A100 with Tony and the Disco is brought to you by Betonline. Betonline is your number one source for the NBA and the NHL playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAD, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
No, we got a few minutes. I want to talk about because, like, obviously it's funny that it seems that there's the guys like us are like in the crosshairs of like the AEW echo chamber narrative and stuff and all that. So like this week, I guess it was either the media scrum or the interview that Tony had with Dave. He was bragging about how WCW's never had $1 million gate, and they just had $1 million gate. You saw that, right? And I think it's funny because, like, the main thing that they're not even calling me an irrelevant parasite, in a tweet, but the thing that's offended me worse in this whole narrative is when Dave, like, very adamantly and flippantly said, that, like, well, Tony Khan was so much smarter than Eric when it comes to wrestling. You remember that comment? That's the one that I've put on, like, I put that away and said, okay, time out. You said that, so let's keep that aside and, like, always go back to that statement. Bro, what about this thing? Like, bro, we did 40, I think it was 1999 to 20-something years ago. What would the Georgia Dome gate have been, like, in the year 2024? This was one off the bat. Like,
I don't even know. Look, it all goes back to Tony is an extremely insecure, I think very, very immature, extremely immature, emotionally immature individual. And he's constantly, that's why he can't stop taking shots at WWE. I mean, think about this for a second. WWE is in another universe when it comes to business than AEW. That's like me opening up a hot dog stand in downtown New York, a block away from a Ruth Chris Steakhouse, and say I'm their competition. I'm competing with Ruth Chris.
Right. Yeah.
I've sold more hot dogs today than Ruth Chris has in the last month. It's because hot dogs aren't on the menu. They don't sell hot dogs. They sell steaks for like $140 a pop. But Tony likes to think because he has he's not even in the wrestling business. He's not in the wrestling business anymore. He doesn't tour. He does television shows. He's a television producer and a one at that. But Tony, again, a little bit like Russo in that sense, wants to be recognized so bad. And that's why he keeps making statements like that. It's why he keeps comparing himself to WWE. It's why he keeps taking shots at WWE. And then crying like a little about tribalism and always being under attack. It's because he says such stupid shit. It makes it, I don't know, recreation to have fun, pulling him apart publicly because he deserves it. He's causing it.
Well, think about this hypothetical. Is that, Dave is constantly, every week, and he doesn't think he's doing it, constantly trying to pull grains of, like pull some short straws out of the thing to try to look at specific data points that AEW is doing way better in the ratings.
It's getting comical now. It's getting comical to the point of laughable.
Just think about this. What if Tony had somebody that he had to answer to? Okay,
he'd have been fired in 6 months.
Well, I'm just saying the owner goes to the company. Goes to him and says, okay, look, the ratings are down and the houses are down. And the guy's trying to save his job and says, yeah, but we beat the Real Housewives of New Jersey this week on TV. like seriously, like they're pulling like pulling out, like trying to compare yourself to cable television, the rest of the shows on cable television, when your numbers stink. That, like, and I said this the other day, the only thing that matters in professional wrestling business for your TV model is if you're drawing enough people to fill seats in your arenas at the shows that you're doing. They're not doing that. That's the issue. That's the problem. They do big shows well. Their pay-per-views, they draw big crowds to these big events, but their weekly episodic television is not drawing enough numbers to fill seats in the arenas. And
Well,
the
think
fact
about
that
this.
they're not-
Think
Go
about
ahead.
this, Disco. According to Dave Meltzer, and you got to be careful. But I'm using it as a reference because I just saw it the other day. Tony Khan has a talent budget that's over $100 million.
Guys are making $100,000 a match.
And 75% of the people on that roster feel like they're in the witness protection program. Half of them, you don't see them but once every 6 months. If you look at his talent budget and his expenses, I mean, look, Mercedes Moné, $5 million a year? Are you kidding me? And giving her creative control, which when it comes to Tony Khan, giving talent creative control is probably not such a bad thing because anybody can do a better job than Tony Khan.
Right.
You give me a case of bananas.
But you know what's the bad
thing? You give me a case of bananas and a young monkey. I could teach that monkey to be a better booker than Tony Khan.
Well, here's the thing with Monet, bro, and for that amount of money, she has not made a difference in the ratings. The people are actually booing her because whoever's writing for her is writing her because her delivery is like a heel and she's supposed to be a face, you know.
But that's on her.
I don't know. Yes, that is on her, but I don't know how, and it's also on him for giving her that creative control. But at the same time, I don't know how you justify her at $5 million, Okada $4 million. Like some of these contracts that you're not getting a return on your investment. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Okada. Did you watch the pay-per-view the other night?
No, but I'm going to. But I've seen enough of Okada to see, bro, he's not a star.
Go back and when you see that match, I think it's the second match on the card.
Right.
It was so sloppy and bad, and I mean, it was just like they phoned it in. I actually posted on social media when I watched it on X. There's no way that the Young Bucks and Okada and whoever they were in there with, you couldn't have a match that bad unless you wanted to. There had to be a reason that match sucked as badly as it did. They're making Okada look like a fool. Actually, Okada's making them look like a fool because that pulling in $4 million a year for doing nothing. And he's not that. He's just he's okay. He's interesting, but he's not $4 million a year. I didn't pay Hogan that much when he first came in.
Right.
I didn't pay him. I paid him half.
He doesn't
that
even
much.
take care of his body, bro. Get in shape. You know, I know he's a great wrestler and all that, and they're into great wrestling, and the thing is kind of gotten over. But I mean,
I don't
you're
know.
supposed to make him a superstar, and you haven't.
Who have they made a superstar? MJF got hot. I'm starting to get a little. I'm wondering what's going wrong there because he's losing ground in my mind at least. And he's got talent. He came in hot.
His feuds aren't interesting. He's dealing with
an
Rush and Hitchestero and nobody cares. Yeah. And plus,
I mean, you got him. You got the same mistake they made with CM Punk, Eric.
That was.
They're
never going to live that down.
No, but let me tell you that the thing is, like when CM Punk first came in, right, bro, he was wrestling Lee Moriarty and all these other guys. Right. Imagine Conor McGregor comes back and he's fighting Joe. You know, it's like you want to see the top names against the top names. You know.
Yep.
And with MJF, who wants to see him against Hechicero? He even said on the one of his promos, he goes, "Oh, they'll probably put me in with some random Japanese guy or some random Mexican," and I popped because that's exactly what happened.
That's what they did, and that's again, that's not MJF's fault. And you pointed out that's a good point that you make, Conan. And in that match, I thought, okay, the match is mildly entertaining. I thought MJF did not a great job. He did a really solid job. Basic fundamental heel work. At least I knew who the heel was in the match. Right. That's to me that was like, oh, progress. At least I know who the bad guy is.
Right.
And there was just enough lucha in there to kind of scratch that itch. Didn't go overboard. So I thought the match itself was really entertaining. But to have MJF your opening match in a match that absolutely doesn't really mean anything, and arguably MJF was up until a month or two ago the hottest guy on that roster. And I think Tony, because he likes bright, shiny objects and he's easily distracted like a 14-year-old, is looking over here and he's got Okada and now he's got Mercedes and, oh my gosh, Will Ospreay. And MJF is just off in the corner wrestling, as you pointed out, people that don't really matter in the context.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.